Welcome back to the Harts family channel. Sorry for all this.
Lord,
he just ran a red light. Okay, so today we're in a different scenery. We are in the car. We're back. We're here with another video. How y'all doing? How things going? How y'all doing? What's popping? What's going on? Today, as you guys see about the title, we are going to be getting a little bit deep on here today. Okay, we're gonna be speaking a lot about my husband's right here, his sweet little self.
Right here, guys.
We're gonna be speaking a lot about his testimony, how did he come to Christ, what that journey looked like for him, and the reason why we decided, or I initially came up with the idea and told him about it. The reason why I found it to be very purposeful, because a lot of the times we see testimonies and families from like family channels, or even like in general, anybody who shares testimonies, we see it a lot from women. And that's great because we obviously want women to be able to share their testimonies boldly and all of that great stuff, but we don't see as much as men who have endured so much that a lot of young men in today's day and age are going through. And it's almost as if you share those things, a lot of people, a lot of men feel like it diminishes your male ego or whatever the case may be. So today we're here to break that. We're here to speak a lot about what God has done for my baby, where he's come from in that aspect. So we're gonna do it like a little like Q&A style. So I'm gonna ask him the question and then he's gonna answer it. Hopefully it's not too long. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this type of video. If you guys do, please interact with us in the comment section. And yeah, so share a snippet with us on your coming to Christ. What was your pre-salvation life look like?
So as far as, you know, pre-salvation, it was your regular 18-year-old life. So the thing about me, I came to Christ at a young age, was living that lifestyle for a couple of years. In that span of living that lifestyle, I lost my father, I lost my mother within a 16-month span. I got married, and you know, shortly after that, maybe a year after that, which was a span of about 2-3 years, I began slowly fading away. But pre-salvation, you know, I was a high school male that loved women, so you know, that looked like somebody that just, you know, did the normal, you know, chase girls, seeing how many I could play at a time, you know, smoke, drunk, when I could get my hands on things. And I lived a sheltered life, but for the most part, I did a lot of stupid stuff. And, you know, thank God for my parents. They were ministers of the gospel. So, you know, everything that they showed me over the years, you know, once I got of age, I was easily convicted. You know, I'm sure they said many prayers for me. So I didn't get too far away. You know, I don't have that the story that some have of that, you know, they did everything in the world and then God spared their life. That wasn't me. You know, I did a little stupid things here and there, but I got saved early, right out of high school. Maybe like a month after I graduated, I was sitting on my couch, got convicted, and was just like, all right, God. Which it didn't suck, but the first part of pre-salvation was just like, man, all my friends doing everything they want to do this summer, and here I am convicted because I got a soft heart. So it was crazy.
Yeah, so I wanted to ask a little bit about in regards to how did you keep your faith, or what did that look like for you once the season of your parents passing away? How did you manage to keep the faith, or fight to keep the faith, or journey to faith even after a loss as such? Because we know a lot of people are grieving, a lot of people are mourning and don't understand, why will God do this? Why will God take away the people I love the most? And I think these are real questions that needs real answers, because a lot of people just don't understand. So
yeah, that's true. And you know, for me, you know, dates are sort of blurry, just because all of those moments in time, you know, they were traumatic. So, you know, when my dad passed, I was around 19 years old, and I had been serving God close to a year, a little over a year. So, you know, my faith had, you know, really grown in big steps, just from spending a lot of time with my parents, getting in the Word for myself, prayer. And one of the main things that I was, you know, walking out was faith. You know, I had a parent, my dad, he was like my pastor. So, you know, our one-on-one conversations looked like, what does faith look like, and how do you use it? How do you believe when you're faced with adversity? How do you continue to push when, you know, you have all this opposition against you? And, you know, just seeing my dad live the way he did, you know, it helped me believe. Once I come into a somewhat of an understanding of who Christ was, it was, you know, it was easy for me to believe because I seen him doing it. So when he passed away, it hurt, but I can't really explain it. My faith was just God's will is perfect. And that's hard for some people to, you know, wrap their minds around. I remember having a guy, he asked me, like, dude, your dad just died, how are you still believing in God? And I loved God that much. My faith was just wrapped up in God. And it also, too, me having my mom still around. So, you know, in those moments where I didn't understand, I held on to her. You know what I'm saying? We talked a lot more. I was able to communicate feelings to her, and, you know, just those moments, I held on to the good times. Had conversations with her, you know, a lot of prayer, a lot of fasting.
So I wanted to just add in real quick, part of what he's saying is to not be afraid to be vulnerable to the Lord and let him know exactly how you feel, let him know the emotions that you are feeling in regards to the loss of whomever it may have been, and acknowledging that God for surely does care about your feelings, and does care about your feelings and the things that matter to you. It for surely does matter to him also. And I just wanted to, like, clarify just a little bit that we're not saying, or he's not saying, I guess, he's not saying that the only reason why he's gotten to the place where he's accepted the truth, accepted what has happened, and was able to overcome and endure and withstand the pain, the level of pain that he may have experienced in his life, especially from his parents passing, was one, it didn't happen overnight, and it wasn't something that he woke up one day and was like, all right, well, life moves on, let's go on. Like,
most definitely. To say that, just to, you know, I can't say every single thing in this video. You know, we may have to do a part 2 and 3, but it definitely took time. There were days where all I did was just lay in the bed and cry. And one of the hardest things for me was what she just said. Life goes on. For me, like, it's a true statement, life goes on. But the hardest thing for me was to see life go on for other people, and me be stuck with that pain of grieving. Because, you know, nobody understands it because it's you're going through it. So, you know, it literally took one day at a time. And, you know, for those that are Christian, for those that are wanting to know what Christianity, a relationship with Christ, looks like, or what it even feels like, you know, there's a scripture in the Bible that talks about a peace that just goes over your understanding, surpasses your understanding. That's a true thing. Like, I can't, that's how I'm fumbling over my words now, because I can't even describe it, how I got through those moments. You know, I know people that lost a parent and they went crazy. I've met people where they just haven't been able to get over that hump of, I lost my mom or my dad, and I lost both under 2 years. It was the grace of God. It's the grace of God that I can laugh. It's the grace of God that I can smile. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's only because of him that I function. And, you know, I was about to say with my dad, it was hurtful, but it was okay because I did have my mom. And that's how I looked at it. Literally, like, Lord, what are you doing? You know what I'm saying? Because it was just, that was tough. That was the thing that broke me. And, you know, being in that place of exercising my faith and just believing God for everything that he was saying at the time. You know, we had prophecies saying that she would live, that she wouldn't die, that God would raise her up, that she'd be, you know, healed and healthy. She died of stage 4 cancer. So when she passed away, I was mad at God, because all of these prophecies is what I kept hearing. Like, Lord, you said she would be okay. So, you know, just being transparent, because this is what this is. Men, y'all dudes, be transparent and get this stuff off of you.
Be vulnerable.
Yeah, be vulnerable. That's how you heal. But, you know, I was telling my wife, you know, being in a place of faith, as my relationship with God was growing, getting more mature in my walk with Christ, I was seeing a lot of healings. You know, God was using me to work healings. God was using me to prophesy to people. And I seen these things. So God used me to prophesy to my mother. And, you know, with him speaking through that, he told her that he was going to deliver her and that he was going to raise her up. So, you know, as I was hearing that prophecy being spoken, that's what I was believing God for, even to the point up to when she passed away. I got a call from my sister the morning she passed. I was on my way to work, just because I was, you know, believing while everybody else was saying this was her last breath. I was just like, no, that's not what God said. So, you know, on my way to work, I got that call that she passed away. I come back home and I kicked everybody out of the room and was speaking life to her, commanding her body to raise up, and it didn't happen. And, you know, as I did that, and as I processed the whole thing, You know, the next couple of days, having to plan for her funeral, having to study to preach her eulogy, all that took a toll on me. You know, still got up, still declared the word of God, still declared that he was good, but in the back of my mind, I was hurting because I felt like he let me down. And like I said, from that moment, it was a slow fade of me slowly turning my back away from God. Because I was mad, I was angry, I was mad at God. And I told him, on one side, you're so mad at God to the point to where you want to hate him. And then on the other side, you love God so much, and you're telling God, you know I love you, but you let me down. That was my whole feeling. And you know, from year to year to year, I got worse. You know, I ain't smoked no weed because I had to work, I had to make money, but I was drinking a whole lot. I had become close to an alcoholic, drinking every day. And I turned completely away from God. 5 years later, after a divorce, after, you know, losing what I thought at the time was everything, it took me coming to a point of ground zero to be like, God, I done made a mess of everything, and you know how I'm feeling, but I know that you can help me, and I want you to. And it took a lot of humility. It took a lot of humility, man. Being vulnerable. Like, God know exactly how you feeling. He know what you thinking. He knows your heart. You know what I'm saying? He knows if you're prideful. He knows every single thing. So it took me coming to that breaking point to really pour my whole thought out to God, my whole heart out to God, and letting him know in detail how I was feeling, and letting him know that I needed his help. That, you know, as mad as I am, I don't want to be mad at you no more. I want to heal. I want to get better. I want my life to be fixed. And, you know, from that moment on, he began fixing my life. For 5 years, I kept asking God in a angry way, why did you take my mother after you told her that you was gonna raise her up? And it took me humbling myself and asking, like truly asking him from a place of respect and humility, Lord, I know it ain't even something that you have to do, but could you show me why? And he did. And within a span of a week, he gave me an answer as to why he took her. Changed my whole heart. He turned literally in a week what took 5 years of disaster. He turned that back around in a week.
You're doing a great job, right, y'all? Let us know in the comment section. This is good. It's like almost like I haven't heard it before, but I'm looking forward to him sharing some more. So we'll label this as part 1 of his testimony, because there's so much more that you guys
it's a whole lot hear. Like I'm talking in circles right now, but there's so much more that you guys need to hear, and I pray that all that he's shared thus far positively impacted okay, by what God has done to his life. And prayerfully this encourages any other men out there to be bold in sharing their testimony, because you overcome by the blood of the Lamb and the words of your testimony. So boldly speak what God has brought you through, or even if it is something that you're currently going through. This is something that it's your now. You're like, well, you got through it, but I did it. Right.
What encouragement do you have for those people?
You will. You will. It's gonna take time, but you will. Let me tell you something. That 5-year span, it wasn't God taking 5 years. it was me. So, you know what I'm saying? It'll take time for sure, but if you're in that place of where you questioning your faith, or you know, you feel like you've backslidden to the point to where there's no return, take it from somebody that's been there that condemnation is a liar. And if it has been 5 years, you can still come back.
No matter how far you've gone.
That was my biggest thing. Like I was scared to come back, because I was like, I don't know if he's gonna accept me after all that I've done. And I did a lot of that. 5 years span was the bad part. You know what I'm saying? So if he could accept me after all of that, you know, use what I've been through to help others, he can definitely do the same for you.
He for sure can.
And you know, from that moment, I've come in contact with so many broken people where, you know, now because of what I went through, I can truly have a heart for them and, you know, give them advice that's gonna pierce their heart and you know, get on their level. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You can't really, it's good to hear from people that's done things that you haven't, but you know, when you can get on a person's level,
yeah,
and you've been there and done that, like it impacts on a whole different level. So, you know, I was one of those ones that got away from the 100.
yeah.
And you know, when I came back running, he met me, and
yeah, that was amazing. Thank you, babe, for sharing that with us today. We cannot wait. I'm speaking for everyone. We cannot wait to hear part 2, part 3, and all else that God wants to say through your lovely little lips and face.
my little lips and face.
Yeah. Sorry. Sorry. We can't wait to see all that God is gonna say through you. So if you guys were blessed by this, let us know in the comment section. We're excited to hear anything that you've taken away from this. If this was your story also, these are things that you possibly went through also. Hopefully you connect with us in the comment section. Also, be sure to follow us on Instagram. Stay up to date with us. If you have any questions for him, feel free to send him a DM. His Instagram will be in the description box. And yeah, stay tuned for all the new content that we have coming through. And yeah, we're looking forward to doing more.
Thank you guys for watching. Y'all make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe. If y'all don't subscribe, y'all ain't real cousins. So, you know what I'm saying? Go ahead, do that.
Yeah.
Holla.